Hello, my name is Ray Salazar, and this is Morning Reel, a 3 minute or 4 or somewhat minute or so podcast of films that I review, whether they're good, whether they're bad and ugly, whether they're complicated or simple. Normally, I don't release episodes on a Friday, it's a Thursday, but today is March 4th. It's a special day, it's my birthday, so happy birthday to me. I want to talk about my favorite film of all time, if I can do it in 3 minutes or so. The 400 Blows, directed by François Truffaut. It's a French film. Came out in 1959. It stems from the French expression faire le quatre cinq coups, meaning to live a wild life or to raise hell. It's about a kid who raises hell due to neglect, due to I guess how the system was back then when it came to like children. I guess parents treated their kids like shit. I don't know. I guess in this film in particular it did. This is a semi-autobiography by the director himself. He was a kid who loved to raise hell, didn't really have any parents to like kind of back him up in life, right? He took matters into his own hands. The only thing that really saved his life was filmmaking. This film stars Jean-Pierre Laud and Albert Remy. This film is actually a series in itself where Jean-Pierre Laud is Antoine Deaunel. As each sequel releases, uses the same character as he grows up. So in the first film, you see him at age 11 or 12 come to the 70s. He's already an adult, like probably like in his early 30s, or if not like mid 30s. And it's incredible to see the how this person grows up, not only as a character but as a person. It's crazy. And I personally love shit like that, where like they use the same character. I mean, they use the same actor for this, for the character. The reason why this is my favorite film of all time is simply because it showed me that you could break the rules of cinema and get away with it. And not only get away with it, but to be celebrated for it. Truffaut does this a lot throughout this whole film, even from not the first shot of the beginning credits, but after that first black screen to fade into the shot. It's this long tracking shot in the classroom, and you see kids writing on a sheet of paper, and the camera just follows some of the kids. And at this point, you're anticipating a cut, right? It's just like embedded, by all these movies that you see nowadays where there's a cut every 10 seconds or so, right? But in this film, and in this shot in particular, and it's the first shot, right? This shot stays for like more than 30 seconds. And I remember seeing it for the first time, and I was just kind of blown away by that, because I was like, really? They did this in 1959 in France with like very low budget sound and camera and personnel. They were able to do this? And this film's not really, it's not just about camera style, but it is also about storytelling. And it is also about how the camera affecting the story with its movements or certain transitions. Truffaut was I guess he was particular about that in his first film. I guess when it's your first film, it's your baby. You want to cradle it, nurse it as deep as you can get, right? This film's about adolescence. It's about growing up. It's about being real about not only about yourself, but about the shit that you do in life. Even if you're a kid, this kid's running wild. He's ditching class. He's cheating on a test or on an assignment. He's defacing school property. He steals milk. This guy smokes. He's a kid and he's smoking. But the only happiness that you see out of this child is basically when he either watches a movie with a friend or when he hangs out with Remy, which is like basically his best friend, somewhat his partner in crime, because they do some shady shit together that kind of lands Antoine into some serious repercussions, not only in life but in just the way he's been going about it, you know? The last scene of the film is great. He always said that he's always wanted to see the beach, and there he is at the beach. And at that very moment, and it's crazy because the film ends on a freeze frame, right? It's pretty infamous for that. You see that face of like, oh shit, what do I do now? I'm all alone. I got what I wanted. Now what? Exactly. Now what? It's like the perfect self-realization. What the fuck do I do now? And we don't know, right? Because at that time, you don't know that there was going to be a sequel or if there was going to be a series period. It's quite a shocker to the heart and to the brain, right? That's what I love about the film. I would give this film 4 out of 4. Would I say this is the perfect film? In 1959, I guess one could say that it is the perfect film because it was the first time the French, it was considered, this genre of film is called the French New Wave. So it was the beginning of a style within the French cinema in general. And it just did a bunch of things that weren't being used at that time. And obviously a lot of French filmmakers kind of borrowed each other's moves and, you know, personalized them even more to their own storytelling. And I just like how bare bones it was with François. I love the 2-shot. I love the tracking shot. I love the dolly shot. There's this one shot where when you look at the film, you're basically seeing like people on the street from a rooftop, right? So you're literally seeing a camera move left and right, tilting up and down, following these characters from a rooftop. And it's so primitive. It's so, voyeuristic in a sense, which is actually borrowed from Hitchcock, but that's another fucking podcast. You see these things happening and it just works, you know. It feels so free. I wish I had seen it when it came out. Obviously that's not gonna happen. Anyways, it's my favorite film. I'm pretty sure I can say so much more about it. I mean, just to conclude it real quickly, I've adapted a lot of the film and the French New Wave in general into my style of like making videos and shit. You know, I don't like tripods. I hate tripods. But as of recently, I've been using them for certain projects, but I just don't like using a tripod for filmmaking, period. And it's largely because of this film, because there wasn't a lot of use of tripod. It was all handheld. And that's the thing that I dug the most. Like, you're seeing handheld camera movement in a French drama intended for not necessarily children, but like, you know, like ages 14 and like to like 25 or even 30. It's pretty fucking dope. It's just breaking the rules. You know, you don't see that in traditional films. I'm Ray Salazar. Follow me on Morning Shot Films. Rate and review this podcast called Morning Reel. I am on iHeartRadio. I am on Google Podcasts. I am on Apple's, iTunes, whatever that shit's called. I am not on Spotify. A lot of people have been asking me about Spotify. I'm sorry, I will not do Spotify because they don't support their artists and groups and bands. You can also find me on YouTube because Spreaker likes to distribute this particular podcast into YouTube. So if you don't have any of that, you can always go on YouTube. Thank you.